right, our next lesson is going to be about metric again, but this time we're going to talk about volume. So you should have already done the intro lesson and lesson 8-1, so this will be lesson 8-2. So I'm going to write that up here. Lesson 8-2. And we'll title this one Metric Volume. Let's see if we can get our focus in. All right, that's better. Lesson 8-2, metric volume. All right, so when we were doing length, meters was the unit of measurement for length in the metric system. And if we were together in a class, I'd be asking if anybody knows what the unit of measurement is for volume, and maybe some of you do. So say it if you know it. That's right, it's liters. So liters are the basic units or basic unit of measurement. And I think I'm going to put of metric measurement for liquid volume. So when we're talking about liquids, a lot of times, probably the most common time that you've seen this used in our grocery stores in America, because we don't tend to use the metric system as much in the United States. But one of the places that we do use liters is when we think about soda or pop. So a lot of you know the 2-liter bottle of pop or soda. So that kind of gives you a reference spot, a place to start. If you took that 2-liter bottle of pop and you cut that in half, and some of you are familiar with the 1-liter bottle of pop or soda. And so then you could use that as well to think about what a liter is. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to use the same steps that I had for meters. So I'm going to build my little steps, and I recommend, if you're copying all this down, to go ahead and do the steps also. So for liter, we're going to use a capital L. I bet you can guess why we don't use the lowercase l. If you think about what the lowercase l looks like, it definitely looks like, whoops, let me push that up. It looks like a 1, and so that's not going to be very helpful. So then if we follow the same things with the meters, we know that we can go down 3 steps. And if you remember back, we have a deciliter, we will have a centiliter, and we will have a milliliter. And this is what's kind of neat about the metric system, is that the liter is the only part of the word that changes. As we go up the steps, and you could even look back in your notes, and look to see for the meters. The biggest one, what was the biggest one? That one was the kiloliter. So kilometer, kiloliter. Then we had the hectoliter, hectometer yesterday, hectoliter this time, and then deciliter. Now remember, it was a decameter for length, and it's deciliter for volume. Okay, and a kind of a neat trick that can help you remember this is, you know how we like our sayings, right? Like PEMDAS has, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. This one is King, so K for kilometer, Henry for hectometer, doesn't, so that's the deciliter, usually, and I'll talk about why it's usually and doesn't start with an L, drink, and that's for deciliter, chocolate, and that's for centiliter, milk, and M, milk, for milliliter. So we have KHD, and then this one's a little different, DCM. So DCM, drink chocolate milk, King Henry doesn't, KHD. Now, usually is because it stands for the unit. So these will always stay the same. King Henry doesn't drink chocolate milk. Whether we're talking about length with the meters or volume with the liters, it's the unit that changes. So kind of like our base word. So it was meters for length, liters for volume. All right, now it works the exact same way. If I have 58 centiliters equals blank liters. All right, so remember, we start with where is my decimal point? I'm going to push this up again. I made it a little bit larger today so it doesn't all fit. So my decimal point's going to go at the end of the number because I didn't see it anywhere before. And I'm going to find centiliter, and I have to go up to liter. So which direction am I going to go? I'm going to go to the left, and centiliter to liter. How many places? 1, 2. So 2 places to the left. So my decimal point is going to move 1, 2 places to the left. So it's now going to equal 0.58 liters. One of the other types of problems that you're going to run into, and maybe you did with the meters, is that they'll give you the numbers and they'll leave out the label, the measurement label. So they might say 2.9 liters equals 2,900 somethings. Okay, so on this one, how you do this is you look at where your decimal point is to start with. So we see it's right there. Then we look at what's our unit of measurement. Well, it's starting at liters. Okay, good. Now look at my decimal point here. Where did it move to go over here? Look, it moved from in between the 2 and the 9 to at the very end of the number. So it started at 2.9 and it ended at the very end. Oops, too many zeros. Very end of the number. So it had to move from here, 1, 2, 3 spaces. It moved 3 spaces to the right. So if I'm starting with liters, I'm going to go to the right because it said 3 spaces to the right. So I'm going to go to the right and I'm going to go 3 spaces. So that's 3 steps to the right. 1, and I don't count the one I'm on. So I start at liters. So I take my first step, 1, 2, 3. So that means it's going to come out to milliliters. 3 steps to the right. Another thing that I noticed when I was looking at the math homework and remembering book, that problems, so this is going to be page 159, and when I'm looking at problem 11, it says Jennifer made 5 liters of punch for her party. Her brother made another 750 milliliters. If they combine the 2 batches, how many 180 milliliter servings would they have? Would there be any punch left over, and if so, how much? All right, so first off, this one's in liters and this one's in milliliters. And this one's in milliliters. So I want to change them all so they're in milliliters. So I need to change that 5 liters to milliliters. All right. Then I'll have 5,000 milliliters is how much Jennifer made. Her brother made another 750 milliliters. If they combine, so combine means we're going to add them together. All right. And then, so we add that together and we'll find out how much they have. How many 180 milliliter servings would they have? So I need to know how many of these are in that 5,750. So I'm going to divide 5,750 by 180. And that'll tell me how many servings they have. And then what's the remainder? That would be the leftover part. So you have to break down these problems. They're not simple one-step problems. You need to make sure you get them all to the same measurement. All right, I notice on this one I see liters, liters, and milliliters. So I need to go through that and I need to change them all so that they're the same. So be careful about that. Let's see, this one says, on an average day, a horse might drink 50 liters, a sheep might drink 4 liters, and a chicken might drink 200 milliliters. How much water would a farm with 3 horses, 15 sheep, and 2 chickens need for a day? So what I might do is I might change this 50 liters and 4 liters to milliliters, or I might change the 200 milliliters to liters. And then I need to figure out, well, how much would it be for the horses? So we need 3 of them. How much for the sheep? So I need 15 for the sheep. And how much for the chicken? Well, we need 12 chickens, so times 12. All right, and then we would go ahead and multiply 3 times this number, 15 times this number, and 12 times this number. And then it asks how much would they need for the whole day. So then I'm going to put those 3 numbers together. So again, you can see that's multiple steps. So take your time. Do not rush through. You're going to need to think them through as you're doing the problems. All right, today's homework will be homework 8-2 and remembering 8-2. Okay, so pages 159 and 160. And again, all of the problems on both pages is what our homework will be. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and just write that up here. Homework and remembering, pages 159 and 160 all. And that'll be our homework for tonight. All right, thank you. And again, if you have questions, email us, send us private comments. Either one of us will help you with whatever questions you might have. All right. Have fun with math today.